Here we are in the Passholder Lounge. Me and my tag team partner, Landon the Dawes Doan. He's right over there. I actually pointed the right direction this time. And it is Tuesday, October the 17th. This is our monthly live show here in the Passholder Lounge. And we are so excited to be kicking things off, ready for people to be joining the show. I know we're 30 minutes early tonight. I appreciate you all being flexible for those of you who have already joined the stream and are ready to chat with us tonight. But a little peek behind the curtain. This is a double recording night for some of us. And so we had to get started a little bit earlier. Jeffers, what's up, Jeffers?
Good to see Jeffers.
You. Jeffers in the chat. First one to comment in the chat.
That means you get a prize. Show him what he won. No, nothing. You didn't win anything, Jeffers.
I got a prize. I got a prize for Jeffers.
Oh, we do? Okay.
Yep. It's Life Day Chewy.
Wow. Okay. I was not expecting that. You get a prize. You have to pay for shipping and handling, I'm assuming, on that one?
Yeah, and since it's crossing borders, it's probably going to cost several $100s for me to send you that. So
yeah.
And you got to send me, you have to send me $350 certified check in the mail, and then I'll send you your prize of Life Day Chewy.
Yeah, Jeffers, I was his secret Santa. I don't know if I was supposed to say that. I was his secret Santa one year, and yes, shipping to Canada is quite a thing, let me tell you.
Oh, wait, did you tell Jeffers he had to send you $350, or did I just blow up your spot?
No, I'm not that smart to think that far ahead.
Oh, okay.
Oh, hey, hi, John, in the chat. At first, I thought he said he's typing from police. It's like, what did you do?
John, what did you get into tonight? Too many calories in the Disney parks. Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the Passholder Lounge. We're going to get started here, and because of some circumstances going on in the house of Justin Monorail tonight, I'm going to be dropping off and handing the Passholder Lounge hosting duties over to my tag team partner, Landon the Dawes Doan, tonight. Just to let you know, Casey was in a bit of a car accident. She's fine, but she's on her way home tonight. And I also feel like I probably need to prioritize making sure she's good and taken care of once she gets home. And I trust Landon to drive the bus. I mean, he drove a monorail for 2 years without me. So
and I didn't even have my monorail license. So there's that.
Yeah. So, but I'm going to do the intro real quick and we'll get into it. And then we'll start welcoming in friends to talk about today's topic, which is, of course, we're going to be talking about the Holy Trinity of Walt Disney animated studio productions. What's up, Dillos Diz? Good to see you in the chat, Jen or Frank. Good to see you.
Could be one, could be the other, could be both.
Could be both. All right, here we go. Let me do my little intro. The Passholder Lounge is open once again, and I am so excited to welcome you in. Hello, everyone. It's Justin Monorail coming to you live on Tuesday, October the 17th, episode 31 of the Passholder Lounge. I am fired up today because I am starting out the show with my tag team partner, celebrating the relaunch of our show, the Monday Morning Monorail Podcast. Joining me in the co-host seat is my friend and yours, Landon the Dawes Doan. Landon, welcome to the big, comfy, cozy lounge. How you doing tonight?
Not too bad. It's a Tuesday evening, and you know what that means. It's me. It's the DOZ, though more accurately, my name card says I'm Spirit Halloween's Landon Doan, because we are in the spooky season, and this is the October edition of the Passholder Lounge. So everybody break out your spooky name and embrace the spooky season. Hi, Natalie, in the chat. Good to see you. Good to see the Dillos, Jeffers, John. Good turnout for the Passholder Lounge episode for the month of October.
Yeah. I'm excited to see everybody here. Happy spooky season. Landon, because your name is Spirit Halloween's Landon Doan, I have to ask the question, does that mean you were an empty husk until October?
Some would say I still am an empty husk, and I try and fill it through various things that are slowly killing me, much like capitalism.
Stop it. You got to stop it.
Yeah.
You got to fill yourself with things like lima beans. That's probably better for you.
I do like lima beans. That's like one of the 3 vegetables I actually will eat.
Oh, I guessed right.
Yeah, there you go.
Right on a Tuesday night.
Yep.
Well, tonight, aren't we all empty husk? Yes, Jeffers,
Factually correct.
in a
Factually
way,
correct.
we
Yes.
all are. But we fill our lives with theme parks and Disney and love of Disney animated films. Tonight, Landon and I are going to bring on some friends, and we're going to be talking about something that we brought up on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast this week, episode 171, and all your podcatcher feeds if you want to go check it out. We're going to be talking about the Holy Trinity of Walt Disney animated films. According to you, there's no right or wrong answers here. It's all
I'll be the judge of that. There could be
Okay.
some right or wrong answers. So.
Well, and as I said, I'm going to be handing over the duties here to Landon here in just a second. So if he says you're wrong, I mean, he's going to be the boss tonight. So
yeah, what could
it's
possibly go wrong? Me in charge.
It's all up to him. Jeffers,
Oh,
are
we
you
had a
saying
good
you're
one.
full of edamame? Because I don't blame you. It's good stuff. But
I think he's saying
that
that might be one of his guesses at one of the other three vegetables that I like. I do like edamame. So
you do?
Yeah. So that's two of the three.
Edamame is good stuff. I love some. If you take me to a sushi place, they better be bringing out edamame before that sushi comes out. I'm just telling you.
Fun to say.
And I shouldn't have to ask for it. Just load it up. Edamame. So, John, you will not be the judge of the Holy Trinity because in Disney World, the Holy Trinity is whatever Walt decides. So, and Landon, since Walt's not here, you're stepping in on his behalf. I give you that power as well.
That's some powerful shoes and a powerful cigarette to hold, but I will try and wield it justly. So, but we all know me. It's like smash cut 20 minutes. I'm just like borderline blackout drunk and just, what could possibly go wrong?
Well, Landon, I will say this before I toss you the keys. I want you to clean the place up once everything's done. Make sure you shut off all the lights off, and why don't you get out of here by about 8:15? That's as long as I feel like you need to stay around. But it's just like you're an assistant manager at a Blockbuster Video. I expect you to do your due diligence before you leave for the night. All right.
That's Blockbuster Video. All right, perfect. Timely reference. Great.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, like I said, I'm going to hit the road for the night. Landon, thank you so much for being willing to drive the bus. Even better, I hadn't picked my three, so maybe I just don't even have to share it for tonight.
Nope. If you're gonna throw this on to Captain Poochie, you have to at least give us some of your three. You can give the entire three on this week's upcoming episode of the Monday Morning Monorail, wherever you get your fine podcasts everywhere. But you got to at least give us some.
Well, I mean, I was going to say that on episode 172 of the Monday Morning Monorail, I will reveal my three, but I will give you one. I'll give you one, and it's my favorite classic. It's Peter Pan. Okay. Peter Pan is my favorite classic Disney film. And out of all of the ones that I saw as a child in my little clamshell VHS cases, that was one that didn't make me have a nap in the middle of it. Several of them did. But Peter Pan didn't. I always stayed awake for Peter Pan. So
okay,
that's one. If you want to hear the other two, catch us Monday on the Monday Morning Monorail podcast. And that's called a tease. My buddy right over here, Landon, taught me how to do a tease because that's what you do in the radio business. And now, Landon, it's all yours, buddy. Have a good night. I'll see you all later on. Bye-bye.
Bye. Oh, this is a bad decision on management's part. Hi, everybody. It's me. Landon is apparently hosting the episode, something he found out like 10 minutes before we started. This is going well. But yeah, Jay's talking about tonight's topic du jour for the Passholder Lounge is your Holy Trinity for classic Disney animated films. Now, when I say classic Disney animated films, I'm talking specifically on the Walt Disney Animation Studios, those films. And where this conversation came from, me and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend, we were sitting out on my back patio last Saturday, and we were talking Disney as we like to do, and she brought up her top three, her Holy Trinity, as she dubbed it, and her top three consisted of Beauty and the Beast. Oh, she's going to kill me if I botch this. Oh, this is great. I hope you can feel the flop sweat as I try and scramble. The top one was The Little Mermaid and Lion King. Yes, nailed it. Totally didn't see me sweat there, guys. But those are her top three, with The Little Mermaid being, I guess, number one in the Holy Trinity. And I brought that conversation, that question to Jay on the most recent episode of the Monday Morning Monorail, and we wanted to bring it to you, the lovely listener. So I guess at this point, I should try and figure out what some of these buttons are. Let's try this one. Hey, oh, I did it. Hey, everybody, it's Dr. Val. How we doing tonight, Dr. Val?
I am good. I had some technical difficulties, but I got it worked out. So I'm good. I'm
fine. Good. Technical difficulties are fine. I foresee tons of them on my end. Like, I don't know what most of these buttons. Let's see what this one does. Oh, hey, look.
See? There's Jeffers. Hi, Jeffers.
Hi, Jeffers. And it is appropriate. There are too many to choose from, at least. I do think this is going to be a hard exercise for some, but that's why we're asking the question, Jeffers.
Yeah.
Well, you, much like me and Jay, we're kind of a duo. I kind of feel like you're also part of a duo. Is that fair to say?
It's fair to say. 33. Okay. Yeah, duo, I guess.
Okay, so would you hate me if I tried and tagged in your lesser half?
Oh no, go right ahead.
Okay, all right. At this point, we're going to bring on my friend and yours, Lewis. Lewis, just this kind of guy, apparently. Lewis, how we doing tonight?
I'm doing well, I guess. Apparently, I'm the lesser half here.
Hey, but at least you're
hurting me there a little bit. I'm definitely the lesser half. There's no doubt about that. But
well, I mean, there you go.
I wasn't sure if she was going to deny me part of the duo.
Yeah, if she denied you part of the duo, y'all might have something to talk about. But if you do have something to talk about, please do it afterwards. I'm just doing the best I can, being thrown into the fire hosting. So, but thank y'all for joining us tonight. Do y'all maybe want to talk about one of the movies in your individual Holy Trinities when it comes to Walt Disney animation?
Sure. Do you want me to go first?
Sure.
I told Lewis, I said, of course, I'm like you, Landon. I had about 15 minutes to figure this out. So I had to really think really hard, really fast. But the first one that I have is my childhood favorite. So I sort of have like several like generations of favorites. So that's why I thought, 3 kind of works perfectly. But Lady and the Tramp was my favorite childhood Disney movie. So I loved that movie, watched it a million times, and really enjoyed it a lot.
That's a good one. And I like you're identifying that as your childhood favorite. And I'm willing to bet that that's going to be a lot of the way a lot of people kind of frame some of their picks. That first Disney movie that really hooked them and spoke to them.
Oh yeah. And I can remember one of my very first trips to the Walt Disney World parks. I actually got the large, stuffed tramp and then the little stuffed lady, and so had them for years and eventually passed them on to my nephews. But loved that movie so much growing up.
Well, that's awesome. All right, Val, that's going to be your first one. Lewis, I'm going to ping pong it over to you. What is one of your Holy Trinities?
So I have 2 that are probably don't count. One is a short.
Okay.
It was called In the Bag, and it had these bears and it had the ranger, and the ranger tricked the bears into cleaning up the forest with a little song. First you did, and then the bears dance and they figure out he's tricking them, and of course, hilarity ensues.
You got a musical number and a favorite. Sure.
That's great. Also, how did the song go again? I think you cut out there for a second.
That's all I got right there.
Oh, dang.
You can look it up. It's on the internet.
It's also recorded. We'll be dropped in the podcast feed later. So thank you for that.
I actually think it is on Disney Plus. I can't exactly remember if it is, but that was one of my favorites. And then the one that's memorable for the wrong reasons is my family used to go to drive-ins and watch the movies. And we went to see Robin Hood, and I did bad things in the back of the car, and we did not go to the movies again until Star Wars. It was a mess. That was when I learned you're supposed to get out of the car before you Okay.
Like throw up all over the place. Is that basically? Yeah.
But my actual favorite, my third best I'm going with The Lion King.
Okay. All right.
It was a transformative movie where you finally saw the kind of computer generated and hand drawn mixture that worked perfectly. Like Beauty and the Beast had it, but it had, you could tell it was computer generated when they got to the ballroom scene. Lion King, I don't think it didn't feel like that whatsoever. And it had this really deep story, and there's killing in it, right? Spoiler alert. Some people die. Some animals die in this movie very harshly. And I really like that. I like that. I mean, Beauty and the Beast had the same thing, right? But I like that where Scar kills Mufasa. That's like this moment where you're like thinking, this is really a deep movie. This is not just a kid's movie. It's for everybody. I mean, it probably traumatized a lot of kids, but
Oh, most definitely. Yes. There was an entire generation of people my age that had to and are still in therapy because of what Scar did to Mufasa. And then it pans over to Simba with that scream and it pulls out on him. Oh yeah. Yeah. 1,000. Most definitely. But as you talk about the animation of Lion King, have y'all been able to go see any of the Disney 100s that they've been re-releasing in theaters? Because the Lion King is currently in theaters, and the Smoking Hot Girlfriend took her daughter to go see it in theaters not too long ago, and that was one of the things that they both commented on was that animation. It's like is still so incredible, and it pops and holds up even to today.
Oh, cool. Now, because we originally saw them obviously in the theaters. That whole generation of movies, was when my daughter was growing up. So we, went to the movies to see all of those. But I haven't seen it in the theater in a very long time. So.
And we watched it on crappy videotapes.
Oh yeah,
cut off. Yep. That was horrifying.
No, yeah. Did y'all have those Disney clamshell cases? Oh yeah. Those were the best. Yep. 1,000%. 1,000%. Okay, so we got Lewis's top three with the Lion King, appropriately enough, sitting on top of Pride Rock. Dr. Val, how about you?
Well, my second one is from that generation, and Lewis kind of dissed it a little bit there. It was Beauty and the Beast. Like I said, my daughter was growing up through that resurgence of Disney movies when we had, the Little Mermaid and Aladdin and Beauty and the Beast. And I loved Belle so much because I was a reader, and I just really loved her character. And so we watched Beauty and the Beast almost every day when my daughter was little, because that was her favorite, nap time movie we'd watch right before she would take her nap. And so that was my favorite for a very long time until Tangled came out. And Tangle is my top. It really is. I loved it. I thought it was funny, and I thought it was well done, and I thought it was a great story, and I love the music and the actors in it and the characters. So Tangled is my top. It's my very favorite one.
Tangled sitting atop the tower for Dr. Val.
It does.
I love it. Like Tangled is one of the more recent Disney animation movies, and it's one of those movies that up until Disney Plus had come out, I had never seen, and I was blown away when I saw it. So I could definitely see somebody falling in love with that movie. Like great story, great characters, like you said, and the animation still top notch.
Oh yeah, and the musical numbers. I mean, you can't. I think all the way around. It's because I was trying to think when I was thinking of like my favorites. Like if I wanted to put one on right now and watch it, which one would it be? Because I love some of the newer ones. I love Big Hero 6, and I love Moana. So it was hard for me to pick my three, but I think if I had to look at like classically what my favorites throughout my life have been that I have watched over and over and over again, I would put Tangled in tonight and watch it in a heartbeat. Like it's just one of my favorites.
So Tangle really made an impact with you. And Dr. Val, we have a question from the chat for you. Let me throw that up on screen from Dillo's Diz. Dillo's Diz identifying that it is Jen here. Question for Val. I feel like Tangled is one that I would like to see as a Broadway show. What are your thoughts on that?
100%. But I want, if it's on Broadway, it has to be Mandy Moore, and my brain has just gone blank. I can see him. I can't think of his name right now. It's Flynn Rider.
Zachary Levi, right?
Zachary Levi.
Yeah, the dude that did Chuck. Yeah.
Yes, it has to be Zachary Levi and Mandy Moore doing it if it's on Broadway. Which I know age-wise, that's probably going to be an issue, but still, their voices are just so perfect, and their timing and just the way that they portrayed those characters, I think, are just iconic for me. So
Very
that would
cool.
be a fun one to see, like at the Hollywood Bowl. You know how they're doing like some of those live versions.
Oh,
of
that
the,
would be cool.
I think that would be a fun one to do there too.
Oh, and Dillo's Diz has another question / comment, though I think this one is for Lewis and the song he threw out there. Can he say that again?
No.
No.
Oh,
Lewis,
no,
come on. You got to give the people what they want.
One more time. You can do it.
Okay, give me a second. No, it's all I remember is that we're singing. First they do the dun 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 dun. Yeah, I don't know the words. I don't know the words of any songs, but
Thank you for that, Lewis. I greatly appreciate you being a good sport on that. That's
if I'd known, I would look up the lyrics and practice a little.
yeah,
You'd have done the whole thing.
Yeah, it's fine. That's pretty much the amount of effort we expect here on the Passholder Lounge. So I appreciate you putting in that effort, and you even you're getting praise in the chats. Dillo's giving you the amazing bravo. John saying well done, Lewis. So you are clearly the favorite of the chat right now. So there you go.
I didn't even think about it till I was searching back to like my earliest Disney memories, and that was watching the Wide World of Color. Wow, the Wonderful
World of Color. Mm-hmm.
It wasn't that name. It was something else by the time we watched it, but it was that and Mutual of Omaha's Wild Kingdom were the two things I was pretty much allowed to watch on Sunday afternoon.
Oh, what was the dude with the animals on the Mutual World of Omaha?
Oh gosh, it's not Jack
Neely?
Was it?
Yeah, I don't remember his name.
It Jack Hanna?
No.
Jack Hanna. Yeah.
He would be on the Tonight Show. Now this is really dating myself, but he would be on the Tonight Show with the animals with Johnny Carson back when I was a kid. I remember that.
Man, we were veering off in the weeds, but you would expect nothing less when Captain Poochie at the helm of the Passholder Lounge live show.
It was Marlon Perkins, by the way. That was the original
Marlon.
guy that we all knew. White-haired guy. It was awesome. That was a great show. Jack Hanna does a great job too, by the way. I'm not saying anything bad about him. Just that was the guy.
Lewis over here throwing shade at Jack Hanna. First he's singing, now he's just shade throwing. Lewis taking over the show.
Coming after me soon.
I guess I'll throw out one of my three. And Lewis, you said you were kind of gonna break the rules, the format. You're a rebel lister. You list things by your own rules, and I respect that. This entry, according to the very reputable source, Wikipedia, is not a Walt Disney Animation Studios. It falls under a different umbrella of the Walt Disney Company, but it is a Walt Disney animated movie, and this is a movie that made a killer impact on young Landon, and that's a Goofy movie.
Oh yeah.
And it is a movie that is making a renaissance in pop culture with people my age that also grew up on that movie. If you had a movie day at school, or your teacher was hungover and didn't want to teach, they would just wheel in that TV and VCR and pop that in, and you would just watch that for the umpteenth time. And like, I have so many good memories of watching that movie, mostly at school, and just watching Max and Goofy go across the country. Goofy thinks he's going on this father and son bonding trip with Max, while Max is trying to veer it into go seeing Powerline. And the soundtrack is just great. And I do love the fact that Disney seems to be somewhat cognizant that people do want more Goofy movie stuff, because we now have, or at least we did have, the Max Powerline meet and greet in Hollywood Studios, though that seems to be pulled back for now while he's appearing in some of the Boo to You stuff. But I mean, I do like the fact that Disney is at least doing something with that right now.
Well, because you've got a whole nother generation, because our daughter would say the same thing. She loved the Goofy movie, and she is showing it to her girls. And so our 14-year-old granddaughter, when we got to Hollywood Studios this past May, when she saw Max, she ran to that meet and greet.
Oh, that's
and we're not a big meet and greet family. Like, that's not something, we're usually running to attractions. And so when she saw Max, she just went nuts. And I was like, I can't believe she even knows who Max is. But because my daughter loves the movie so much, she's shown it to them, and now it's their, one of their favorite movies. And so they love it.
Oh, that is so cool.
Yeah.
Very. Oh no, go ahead.
They also mentioned Max was going to be showing up in Jollywood Nights as well.
Really? I have
Yeah.
not seen that.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, they just announced it the other day.
It's exciting.
Very cool.
Lineup for that show, for that party.
Yeah, I am very much looking forward to Jollywood Nights. I'm excited to see what that's going to be, and I'm kind of bummed that I can't experience it because it's the first time they're doing it, but also it's like that is a high price point, Disney, even for you.
And so yeah.
And well, I guess still talking on a Goofy movie. I love the little spinoff TV show they did, Goof Troop or whatever on Disney afternoons. I'd get home from school and watch that, and put off homework as long as I could.
They just have done over the years so many fun things with Goofy. Some of the shorts and things.
Oh,
I can remember with Goofy, like with where he's trying to there's one where he's trying to put together like a TV or VCR or doing something. Like there's all this little kind of shorts that he did that were so funny.
Well, and then like the classic sports Goofies. I mean, those are just like phenomenal, like top notch Disney stuff. It's like it just doesn't get much better than that.
No.
Yeah, I'm a big fan of the How To series.
That's what I was thinking of. Yeah.
I actually tried to fashion a series of presentations to that title, but it didn't bite because I don't think everybody else has that feeling. But I really like how to ski, how to play baseball, how to do.
I respect that. As somebody who tries to get over tons of jokes, that's for like me and two other people in my audience. I respect that. Lewis. Another movie that I'll pick in my holy trinity. It's another movie that is kind of more towards younger Landon, though this is more like 19, 20, 21-ish year old Landon that really kind of drew me back into that Disney bubble. Mm-hmm. And we see a lot of this character in the park. And even I, as a fan of this character, is like, okay, Disney, maybe pull back a little bit on this. And that's going to be Lilo and Stitch.
Oh yeah.
Like I was very much out on Disney when this movie dropped. And then one of my friends just on a whim, like, let me borrow his DVD of this movie because he knew I used to be a big Disney fan, and I watched it, and then I was just like, whoop, I was right back into that world. Just the colors, the soundtrack, the characters, the destructive force of nature that was and still is Stitch, just really clicked with 19, 20, 21-year-old Landon at that point, and that has always still spoken to me, even though, like I said, I do think Disney might want to rein it back a little bit. You do have other characters that you can very much monetize, Disney. You're very good at it, but there's other people you can use.
Oh, well, I miss Stitch though. They used to use him in so many more things. And I remember one of my very favorite was at the Not So Scary party. They used to have like a ginormous blown up Stitch that sat on top of a building. That was like an inflatable, like a huge inflatable. And he was just it was just one of those things that like you look forward to seeing him when you went in, because here's this huge Stitch that's there. And of course they don't have it now. You don't ever see it. But I did think that them using Stitch in a really cute way in the little short that they put out yesterday for the Disney 100.
Oh yeah.
The moment where he's trying to eat the carrot, I thought that was just perfect.
Yeah,
like I love that they added him in there. Yeah,
such a great way to, I guess, show the character of Stitch in just like a little 3-4 second clip.
Yeah, with Lilo pulling him away. I just thought that was really cute.
Yeah, her weird looking dog. Yeah, yeah. Natalie chiming in the chat. Same, Natalie. Same. The intro to Lilo and Stitch gets me going every time. Just such a fun, great movie. It's like even back before, it's like I fully like threw myself into the deep end of like, now we're, I think, rough estimate 33% of everything that I own is Disney related. For the longest time, I had a Stitch magnet on my fridge, like even back when I was a stupid college idiot back at MTSU, and that is transferred with me from everywhere that I have moved from my time in college to now. It is somewhere over there now, buried and surrounded by annual pass holder magnets. So like Lilo and Stitch is something that I've carried with me for a long time. And then finally, my I guess number one sitting atop the Holy Trinity. Those in the chat, start chiming in because I want to see some of y'all's Holy Trinity as well. We'll be reading off some of those here in a second. It's going to be another movie that speaks to a young Landon, the youngest Landon that I'm listing. I came of age during the Disney's 1980s/90s animation renaissance when Disney reestablished itself as Disney. And that was the time when, Beauty and the Beast, The Lion King, Little Mermaid were all coming out in theaters, and they were just these works of art. But the one that sticks out to me is going to be Aladdin.
Yeah.
I love Aladdin. The characters, the music, the voice work, particularly of the late great Robin Williams. Like you talked on the Once Upon a Studio short that they did yesterday. It's like even that little brief clip, hearing Robin Williams is the genie again.
I know. I know.
It's like, Disney, you jerks. I mean, I appreciate you doing it, but but as a 30-something-year-old man, I feel like I cry at too much of your products. But I know.
It's genius. Robin Williams was a genius anyway, but when you watch like some of those recording sessions that they have, for the behind the scenes things for Aladdin, he's just brilliant. And it's just, you can't help but just love every minute of it.
I know. And he breathed life into that character. And this was a role that he truly loved. And he loved to the point that he and Disney kind of got into disagreements and litigious arguments after the fact because there was a sequel to Aladdin that they dropped pretty much ahead in, I guess, direct competition to the movie he did, Toys. And the agreement that he and Disney had was they weren't going to make a big deal that Robin Williams, this was one of his characters. And Disney pretty much went back on what they said about that. And for the longest time, he and Disney did not really see eye to eye on that. But it was, just that was a once in a lifetime performance. And I know there's a lot of those like what if this actor played this character? I cannot imagine anybody else playing the genie. And we kind of saw that when they did the live action version a few years ago. And it's like I'm not as negative as some people are on the Will Smith performance. Will Smith did a fine enough job. He made it his own character, but it's like, I'm sorry, it's like you can make the best hamburger helper in the world, but if you're comparing it to a filet mignon, it's not going to measure up.
Yeah, no. It feels like a completely different movie to me. Like when I watch the live remake, I just feel like it doesn't feel like Aladdin to me, even though so many of the songs are the same. But I agree with you. I mean, Robin Williams is just iconic, and so it's hard to even imagine it any other way.
Mm-hmm. Robin Williams, love that man. But that is going to be my holy trinity when it comes to Disney animated movies. Natalie in the chat chiming in. Tarzan was the first movie I saw in theaters with my parents. You'll Be in My Heart emotionally destroys me to this day. Not sure it's in the holy trinity worthy, but definitely a close contender. I get that. I had some other movies that were in my also receiving votes category. So I see Natalie giving that some credence. Dr. Val, Lewis, I'll put y'all on the spot where there's some other movies that didn't quite make the cut for y'all.
I can't believe that Lewis didn't mention The Incredibles.
Two things. One, not a Disney movie.
Technically,
okay.
It's
I'm
Pixar,
sorry.
yeah.
Didn't even think about that.
Two, well, if one's good enough there. It wasn't not a Disney movie. I will say that my top two, one is Tangled. It's exactly one you picked. And the other is Winnie the Pooh, because Winnie the Pooh is just a spectacular film. And I've actually watched all of the movies until I get to Little Really Kitties. Tarzan, on the other hand, was one that we didn't love. And I think it's because we didn't see it. It wasn't the first movie we saw with our parents.
Did y'all go see it with Natalie's parents though?
Maybe that would have made the difference.
Yeah, maybe.
I think it's because we had just seen Beauty and the Beast, Lion King, Little Mermaid. Although and then it was just starting to go down a little bit.
Yeah, I'll agree. It's like Tarzan was where like that, and I know here recently, this particular movie, Hunchback of Notre Dame, has found some of its most ardent fans. But when it first came out, even me as a little kid, it's like this feels different from the other Disney movies that I had just fallen in love with. So maybe that was when it started to kind of lose the fastball, so to speak, when it came to Disney. But I mean, Tarzan's a fine movie, but maybe not to the heights that Disney had reached on Little Mermaid and Lion King and stuff like that.
I think the interesting thing when you think about like Tarzan and you think about the Hunchback of Notre Dame, like you said, when I saw Happily Ever After for the first time and hearing some of those songs from some of those movies that I had never really considered to be some of my favorites, the soundtrack to that fireworks show is so amazing and uses some of those lesser kind of familiar songs. Like for me, Where You'll Be in My Heart was something that I didn't know super well. But when you hear them in the fireworks shows, it changes your perspective and it makes you kind of give those movies a second thought. Like I wanted to go back and see them again because I hadn't given them a lot of credit, but the music is just so beautiful. And so I think that those kinds of things do give us that opportunity to kind of go back and go, oh, wait, I do remember that movie. And I did like that better than I thought I did.
It's a very good point, particularly on songs like You'll Be in My Heart, though honestly, as a South Park fan, there is still a part of me that holds a grudge against You'll Be in My Heart because it beat out Blame Canada at the Oscars year for Best Song. Speaking of blaming Canada, Jeffers weighing in with Robin Hood, Many Adventures of Winnie the Pooh, and follows it up with I'm with Jay, probably Peter Pan. He then goes on to say, those were the ones I watched the most. So many of the others were just one and done or just here and there, but those are the three I saw a ton as kids. And then he follows it up with The Great Mouse Detective with an honorable mention, and he spells honorable the Canadian way. So thanks, Jeffers.
That's a good one. I hadn't thought about The Great Mouse Detective in a long time. I loved that one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Yeah, I'll throw out an honorable mention from me. The Emperor's New Groove.
I love the voice actors in that. It's just such a quirky one, and it's so different.
And that's part of the reason that I loved it. It did feel like something incredibly different from Disney. And again, much like with a Goofy movie, I have memories attached from me growing up in my adolescence. This time it was on a church choir trip where I think we watched An Emperor's New Groove like 5 or 6 times on the bus. Apparently that was the only movie we decided to take from Knoxville when we left and traveled up to Maine. And no adult thought, you know what we need to do? Get more than one movie. So we watched that thing pretty much beginning to end, rewind, and start it again. So, but thankfully I was the one kid who's like, yeah, this movie's awesome.
That's great.
I think the thing about animation for me is that I want it to be fun. Like there's some really great like WALL-E is a great movie, but it's not fun. I don't want to watch it again. It's not like I'm entertained by it. It makes you think, and there's people scooting around in little scooters are kind of hurtful at times, but
he relates a little too closely to that one.
And I also don't want it to be a story I've seen 100 times. Like Tarzan, as a person of my age, we've seen Tarzan a bunch of times, right? They did Tarzan. There was a Tarzan. It feels like there's a Tarzan series.
Yeah, Tarzan is one of those movies / IPs that it seems like every few years Hollywood tries to reboot. I mean, wasn't there like an Alexander Skarsgård live action Tarzan movie that came out? I want to say like within the decade, and it didn't go over well. And it feels like that and the Lone Ranger. Well, Disney tried to make the Lone Ranger a thing again, and then that didn't go over too well. And it's like I think there's credence, and I think it's smart. Both of those things you said. It's like the animation you see, you want it to be fun, and also you want the story you see to be unique and original, and I think those are both two good points. Ooh, Emily makes a good point in the chat. Toy Story is an honorable mention with me because it's technically Pixar. Let's throw in some Pixar votes because since it's technically not Walt Disney Animation Studios. Lewis, it seems like you're a big fan of The Incredibles. Would that be your Pixar vote?
That was to me like the best spy movie I'd ever seen when I got done with that movie.
I always make fun of him about it because we went to see it at the theater with our daughter when she was, young, with like a huge group of her friends. Like, I mean, there's like a big group of us that are there, and the movie is over and everything's quiet in the theater right before everybody gets up to leave. And Lewis just very loudly just kind of yells out, "That was the best movie I've ever seen." And so all of these, tweens and teenagers are like looking back at him going, "What?"
I should have qualified it a little bit. It wasn't Citizen Kane, okay? I give you that.
For years after that, the kids would make fun of him, going, "Is that the best movie you've ever seen, Mr. Davidson?" Like they would pick on him.
That's
So,
awesome.
Yeah. So that's why I always give him a hard time about The Incredibles.
But yeah, that one, it was fun. It was a comedy, and it had some perilous moments, and it had a decent enough plot.
Mm-hmm. I mean, I'll agree with everything you said. And according to Lewis, it's Citizen Kane 1, then Incredibles 2. What comes 3, Lewis?
You got to put Lawrence of Arabia in there as well.
Okay, sure, that one as well. I mean, yeah, that Lawrence of Arabia guy.
Have you ever seen The Thin Red Line? That one's pretty good too. It's all in there. That's what you get. A Kubrick version of a Pixar movie.
Good Lord, I could only imagine. God,
or Terrence Malick. That's who did Thin Red Line.
There is not enough drugs for me to watch that movie. Dr. Val, what would be your Pixar vote?
Oh gosh, I don't know. I have a hard time because I love Pixar movies. I appreciate them so much more because I do like. This is where Lewis and I are a little different. I like the ones that make us think. So, like Up, even though I cry through like 10 minutes of that one,
God in heaven,
it's just, I love it so much. And of course, so many of the Toy Story movies, which were just iconic, but like Coco, to me, Coco is just one of the most beautiful movies I've ever seen. And the music is just, So it's hard. Pixar's hard for me to pick from because there's not many of those that I don't enjoy.
I'm not against thinking and feeling, but I want animation to be fun. I want to be entertained as well. It's like they used to make these incredible cartoons they would put in front of their movies, and then they started making these like artsy pieces, and you were like, "Can we just get through this? Can we get to the movie?"
I like the artsy ones. I enjoy it. I enjoy I like the artistic. I feel like when they put the thought into it. Just like when we watched Frozen, like I became obsessed for a while with the Frozen 2, like the making of, because I just get fascinated by the artwork and what they put into how they think through the stories and the music and the characters. And I like to see that. So I enjoy it. So yeah, Coco, Aurora's mentioning it, Coco. I thought it was one of the most beautiful movies and the music is amazing.
Oh, so. I mean,
it had a great plot and a great story and a great finish and a great.
Like going back to the Disney 100 re-releases they've been doing in theaters. I never saw it in theaters up until here recently with the re-releases, and I was just like Mask of Tears for most of that movie. It's just so beautiful, and again, you talking on the music, it's just so dang good. But again, going back to what spoke to me as a kid, it's like I love The Incredibles up until they started doing the Marvel stuff. It's like that was one of the best superhero movies ever made. And honestly, without The Incredibles, we don't have the MCU. So you have to give the tip of the mask to The Incredibles. But to me, it comes down to either Toy Story or Toy Story 2. And it's like picking between Buzz and Woody right here. Or maybe I can just run the clock out and get to 8:15 and then kick everybody out without giving an answer. No, I will go. Toy Story 2. I say with conviction.
Yeah, it's hard because again, our daughter grew up with those movies, and she even made that point of like. When Andy goes to college was when she was going to college, and she just kind of like. She grew up with that. So I can remember when we went to see, those movies for her, it was just, she just resonated with them so much. So they were, it was pretty amazing.
Yeah. Those Toy Story movies, the Toy Story trilogy is just incredible. And no, if you're saying out there, but Landon, didn't they make a fourth Toy Story? No, they didn't. Toy Story 4 didn't happen. You're misremembering it. It didn't happen.
I like Toy Story 4. There's not a Pixar movie
Oh, look at that. That's weird. Lewis got disconnected. I can't believe
happened?
that.
Oh,
what?
no.
I just didn't. No, all right.
He deserved that. He really did.
So there's not a Pixar movie I don't like. I haven't seen Turning Red.
Turning Red was great. I loved Turning Red. And I am clearly not the target market for that movie, but I thought Turning Red was really good, and I really wish it had a full-blown run in theaters. Now, I understand it was released as the world was on fire as I waved my arms.
That's the reason why we missed it, was because we weren't going to the theater at the time. But our that's another one of those that our granddaughters watched, in the release, the way it released, and loved it. So I think that's the only Disney movie we still have yet to see.
I didn't.
It was okay.
I didn't make it through The Good Dinosaur. I've tried a couple of times, and I fell asleep once, and then just straight up turned it off the second time. So
I didn't hate it. I didn't love it, but I didn't hate it.
It's always the bottom. That's my, like, when I have to, because we have over the years ranked our Pixar movies, for different things over the years, and Good Dinosaur is always my very bottom.
And I will say this is more of a Landon issue as opposed to a quality of the movie issue. I just can't make it through Onward. It hits way too close to home. So that is one of those things just cannot do. Fine enough movie, but not for Landon. But that is, I guess, for another podcast, and more accurately for another therapy session. Because, ladies and gentlemen, we have come to the end of the Passholder Lounge. Thank everybody in the chat for weighing in with their picks of the Disney animation Holy Trinity. But thank you, Dr. Val and Lewis, for jumping on stage, talking with me about your picks, and putting up with pretty much the worst host ever in the history of the Passholder Lounge Live.
You did great, Landon, and it was a lot of fun. Thank you for asking us.
Well, thank you again for joining us. Greatly appreciated. Any final words you want to hit us with before we wrap things up here in the PHL Live?
Oh, we are just so glad that you and Landon, that you and Justin are back. We're very excited about it, and so we're happy for you guys to be kicking off this week. It's very exciting.
Thank you. Thank y'all so much. You have been some of the long timers on the Monorail. You stuck with me in the Captain Poochie era of Daz Does Disney, and we are glad that you are sticking with us for the relaunch of the Monday Morning Monorail. Dr. Val, Lewis, y'all have a great evening. All right.
You too. Thanks, Landon. Bye.
All right. Take care, y'all. And if you want to hop aboard the Monorail one more time, go wherever you get your fine podcast. We're talking iTunes, Spotify, Apple Play. I guess I don't know where you get your podcast these days. I honestly don't know where I get my podcast these days. It's magic. They just show up on my phone. It's a thing of technology. But search for the Monday Morning Monorail podcast, and be sure and subscribe. If you were a fan and a subscriber of Daz Does Disney, it shows up there. So if you were a subscriber of Daz Does Disney, you know what you have to do? Absolutely nothing. Just continue being the awesome person that you were, and you still are. And Monday Morning Monorail will show up bright and early every Monday morning, where myself and Justin Monorail will bring you the latest happenings from the House of the Mouse in Orlando, Florida. And we're bringing back some new stuff. If you're a fan of the M34Ds from back in the day, that is the Monday Morning Monorail Disney Deep Dive with the Dawes. That's where we break down and look at the history of some of the attractions that we know and love, whether they're with us or not. That is going to be coming back. We're going to be bringing back a Fast Pass Standby Snack Break as well. And Jay is going to be bringing you some in-park content as well. We're really excited for the future of the Monorail, and thank y'all for coming along for the ride. So for Justin Monorail, my name is Landon Doan. Thank a cast member, thank a team member. Disney and Universal, pay your cast members and pay your team members a living wage. Without them, you have none of what you have going on. None of it happens. So treat them and pay them like the rock stars that they are. Be decent to each other. You don't know what everybody else has going on in their lives. You don't know how far a kind word or a kind gesture will go. It costs you nothing to be nice, so why not be nice? And be decent to yourself. I'm not just talking physically. I'm talking mentally as well. And breathe. Have a little bit of fun. And if you do both of those things, that'd mean the world to me. My name is Landon Doan. Thank y'all for joining us on a very special episode of the Passholders Lounge live podcast. Until we talk again, bright and early, Monday on the Monday Morning Monorail, y'all have a great evening. Love y'all. Take care.